The one guy who we shall refer to as the Mad Shitter, and we're not going to say his name, even though I know who he is, and he had a reputation. It was like his superpower. He could literally shit anywhere on command. No warm up, nothing. Just boom, go. I mean, it was like an ice cream dispenser. It was just insane. Hello, everybody. Terrence Pop here with another episode of Live from the Lair. And today we're going over some National Guard stories. And this particular story is probably one of the coup de grace stories of all of my time at the 425, barring our deployment to Iraq. So on this particular, story, we were doing it was an AT, annual training, Grayling, and we were watching it was basically a mobility corridor. There was a couple obstacles, but it was very wide. It was like 8 clicks wide, and it ran about 5 or 6 miles long, and we had teams all over the place, static, in hides, and they brought in an MLRS unit. They brought in a tank battalion, and back then it was the Nasty Guard, so they had M60 tanks. They hadn't got all M1 Abrams yet. There was a few there, but they were still swapping them in, I guess. And they had I think it was 2 companies of infantry patrolling around. So it was kind of hairy, and that's a lot of moving around in that particular area. And for the first day of AT, we jumped in, we moved into position. Everyone saw us jump in because Grayling's not that big, but they couldn't just attack us until we were done jumping. But we pretty much got in position. Nobody got compromised, and we were doing our mission, living in a hole, watching fucking this one road intersection where I was at, and I was about 2.25 miles away. So for where the action was going to take place, we made all our comm windows, and all our primary information and commanders information that we saw, we reported it up, and everything was going great. And then we got a call on the alternate freak from some of the other NCOs in the company that were next to the tank battalion, and they were actually fairly close, and they reported this tank battalion would pretty much, to the last man, lay down and go to sleep. Everything would shut off. No one's pulling security. It was just fucking atrocious. Now, this wasn't my idea, but it came down on the alternate freak that perhaps we should all link up and basically fuck with these guys because they're being fucking untactical assholes. So, I'm like, okay, cool, whatever, we'll do it, I was really not planning on doing much other than maybe stealing some soda, some food, usual shit. Everyone steals soda and food. I mean, it always tastes better if it's somebody else's, right? So, we link up, we, move around the perimeter, and we all start probing for defenses, which there wasn't any. In fact, the assessment that we got from one of our other teams that had radioed this up from I think it was 2 days prior, was actually, dead nuts on. I mean, these guys were fucking just fucked up. And they weren't just sleeping. It literally looked like a 1 or 2 acre frat party with tanks pointing around the outside with the barrels facing out. And there's beer cans. I mean, there was just weapons laying around and people laying on it was fucking crazy. I just couldn't believe it. I was like, holy shit. So I'm starting to fuck with these guys. I open up their machine guns. I'm throwing dirt in there. throwing dirt in their 50s, dirt in their Mark 19s that were on the fucking tanks. Like literally, I climb on the tank, climb up to the Mark 19, start fucking with the weapon. Nobody says anything. Nobody even knows what the fuck is going on. Same thing with the 50 cal and the M60 machine guns. My team, we ran off into the woods with a pretty big fucking cooler of soda, and they had pizza, so we took like 2 or 3 fucking large pizzas that were just left out. Nobody fucking cleaned shit up. It was cold, but it still tastes pretty good. And we sat there and with our nods on, ate pizza, drank the soda from about 200 or 300 meters out, and just watched the mayhem ensue. Now, I don't know which teams did what. All I can tell you is what I saw. One of the teams had basically found a dead deer that had been hit by a vehicle off in the shoulder of the road, about a click down the road. They tie 550 cord to it and drag it back to the, tank battalion CP. And then they proceed to hoist it up the radio tower, so it's a good 20 feet up there, just dead deer hanging there by its neck, all fucked, all fucked up. I thought that was pretty funny. And then the other teams, they all took fucking, food and, and dragged shit off into the wood line. One of the guys from the same team basically took the 50 cal barrels out of all of their 50 cal machine guns and didn't hammer them, but, basically stuck them in the dirt a good 6 to 8 inches. So they're all standing up, all the barrels are standing up in the dirt. That's a big fucking no-go. And the one guy who we shall refer to as the mad shitter, and we're not going to say his name, even though I know who he is, and he had a reputation, it was like his superpower. He could literally shit anywhere on command, no warm up, nothing, just boom, go. I mean, it was like an ice cream dispenser. It was just insane. So we see the mad shitter go up on one of the tanks on the perimeter. And basically, we could tell he's going to take a shit in the tank. Now, I don't know if he actually checked it or not, but apparently he got up there and decided he's going to squeeze one out. And apparently the driver was there. This is the driver's hatch. The driver's like this, and all of a sudden it hits him fucking runs down. It's like the steaming fucking New York steamer on his fucking lap. And he's like, and apparently he freaked out. And the tank, comes on, and I see the mad shitter start running for the wood line. And then the tank starts going right the fuck after him. And I'm like, holy shit, he's not going to make it. He's not going to make it. Oh my God. And he made it to the wood line, and the tank fucking, almost knocked over a tree, and the guy was fucking yelling. And a couple of the guys got up because, firing up a tank is pretty fucking loud. And apparently they weren't supposed to move them in the dark. But hey, calm heads did not prevail when the driver got, shit on by, one of the dudes in my unit. And apparently I didn't see this particular part, but somebody had taken basically a couple of Snickers bars and threw them in the water buffalo. And then the other water buffalo, they opened them up and let all the fucking water out. So by the next morning, there was no fucking water because the water buffalo that they had thrown the Snicker bars in, they basically said that somebody had shit in the water buffalo. So they had no water. Holy fucking shit. That was fucking hilarious. And turns out the other team stole a bunch of beer and, hard liquor. And basically, I don't know, it was like 3 or 4 in the morning, we decided to have our own, pizza party with beer and hard liquor. And, by like 5:30 in the morning, the sun is just, starting to, you could tell it's coming up. We all broke contact and went back to our fucking hides. Nobody saw anything. Nobody knew what the fuck happened. But I'm going to tell you, the aftermath was actually fucking hilarious. We were out there the next day and the next night, and the following day they had called us back. All the teams got called back in 3 days early for basically the third degree. And I remember I'm standing there in front of the commander, and he's just like, you know, where's your objective at? And, you know, and I pull out the map, and I'm like, oh, you know, I was here. Okay, well, this, the tanks were down the road a piece. Did you see anything? And I'm like, sir, I don't have bionic vision. I can't see in the dark. You know, 8 clicks. I don't know how I should answer that. He's like, all right, Pop. Were you or were you not in the fucking objective with the fucking M60 tank battalion? And I'm like, sir, I wasn't even in that grid square. I don't know what you're talking about. Just lying through my ass. Because, you know, we could tell some people were going to get in serious fucking trouble. Because they really freaked out over the whole dead deer thing. They're like, oh, it's some kind of racist fucking, you know, deer thing. Blah, blah. And it was just some fucking dudes hanging up a deer because it was just a dick move thing to do. You know, it wasn't that big of a deal. You know, and then they got really pissed off about the water buffalo thing because, you know, they thought it was human shit. They had to, you know, bring guys out to clean it out and then take the fucking, you know, water buffalo, which is not an actual water buffalo. It's a big fucking tank that holds water that the Army calls a water buffalo. They had to take it back to the rear, dump it out, sterilize it, inspect it. But they didn't get it back until the end of the field problem. And they fucking they said they found all the coolers and the fucking beer, and it looked like somebody had a big huge party, but nobody got caught. And you know, they threw a fit about the, you know, the M50 the 50 cal barrels, said they were ruined, which is bullshit. We're all like, yeah, right. Look, we're all infantry guys. Those things are designed to be carried around by grunts. They're not fucking broken by falling in the dirt. That's just stupid. You know, basically they were trying to scare everyone, somebody to come forward and go, it was me, and then, you know, then they would just fucking rip everyone apart. But everyone stuck to the story, and you know, we got yelled at by an 06, we got yelled at by our commander, we got yelled at by the first sergeant, and this, you know, Michigan State Sergeant Major came out and yelled at us too. It was like, you know, they had to stand in line to yell at us. And, you know, it was all right. I mean, it was well worth it. I mean, we laughed our fucking asses off. Oh, my Lord. So we got the cooler. Oh, yeah. That's another thing we stole from those guys that night. We took all of their fucking maps. We took their guidon. And basically, we took the guidon down the road about 500 or 600 meters. Put all the maps on the ground and then rammed the guidon through it, and we wrote some disparaging fucking shit on the guidon, which they didn't appreciate. And we also, you know, the guidon staff, the wood staff, we pulled out permanent marker and we wrote fucked up shit on that too. And that shit doesn't go away. You know, you basically get a whole new fucking thing or sand it off and repaint it. We didn't care. But yeah, the mad shitter almost got his fucking ass run over. What are you going to do? I thought it was hilarious. It was well worth it. And everyone got away with it scot-free. And towards the end of that particular AT, this is actually pretty funny. You know, we get the night off to go hang out on the town. Hang out at a bar. There's, you know, everyone and their mother's there, you know. Civilians and a large portion of the units and the personnel who were out in the field were out there too. So it was a lot of fucking people. Now my ATL, Gorilla Belly, is a very strong individual, right? I mean, I saw him pick up a Honda CRV 650 and put it in the back of a pickup truck single-handedly. So, I mean, he's got retard strength. But he was with me all night, and he doesn't drink. Just doesn't drink. But we're there till, I think, 12:30, and we're supposed to be back by 1 in the morning. So we all pile in our vehicles, cabs or whatever, and go back on to Camp Grayling. And it's the end of the night. Nothing. Well, the next morning, they basically say, you know, somebody here is guilty of sexual assault. And I'm like, where did this fucking happen? Because I don't fucking know what the fuck you're talking about. And it turns out that everyone pointed the finger at my ATL, Gorilla Belly, even though he was with me the entire night and he doesn't drink and he wasn't involved in any of those fucking stupid antics. So I go, you know, and they say I have to fucking apprehend him and bring him into the CP. So I get him, we walk him in there, you know, and I stay with them the whole time. And they're reading him the riot act, and I'm finally like, whoa, what exactly happened? So apparently, this female said that the Gorilla Belly had picked her up and put his face in her fucking, you know, vajayjay. And I'm like, well, who's this? So they explain her to me, and I don't know who she is. I go, oh, well, that's categorically a bunch of bullshit, because I was with them all night and then nothing fucking happened. We went there and I was drinking. And I think we had, you know, a split of pizza between me and my team. And, you know, everyone else had some beers. And then we left. That's all that happened. So I'm like, okay, you know, whatever. I tell everyone to shut the fuck up. We're not saying shit. You know, I know how this game works. So I actually go and I actually look for this one chick, and she weighs like 150, 160 fucking pounds. There's no fucking way he picked this chick up and put his face in her vajayjay, in her fucking vagina. It's just a bunch of bullshit. So they write their statements. We're playing the statement game. This is Administrative Violence 101. Made a video about it. Check it out. I made it years ago. So I'm like, okay, I can play this game. So I go and I get all my guys. And we write a bunch of fucking statements. They write a bunch of fucking statements. We put them together. It goes up to the provost marshal, and he goes, "This isn't going anywhere. It's them. It's their word against their word. It's just stupid." And this is before they had, you know, surveillance cameras and shit inside the bar, which I'm sure every place has now. So we think it's over. So we go back to the barracks, clean them up, everyone's all good to go, and then take the bus back to Michigan. Well, it turns out that one of the MPs, actually the commander of the MPs, he was a major at the time, maybe he's a captain, I don't remember his fucking name, also was a Michigan state trooper. So this happened, it happened off post. So the Michigan State Trooper uses his fucking position to, you know, talk to the prosecutor to bring charges against the Gorilla Belly. And now he's got an attorney and all kinds of bullshit, even though there was it was just complete bullshit. And he has to wind up, you know, I told him to fucking, you know, take it to court and fucking, you know, sue everyone involved. But he said, you know what, fuck it, took a plea deal. Pissed me off, but, you know, hey, it wasn't my ass in the sling, so. And his plea deal was simple assault. No sexual assault, nothing like that, just simple assault. So that was that 1 year at Grayling. And I'm trying to recall, I think the next year we had a pretty much a knockdown, drag-out brawl with a bunch of dudes from the 125. And that was pretty interesting. But we'll get to that later because we're coming up on 20 minutes. You guys take it easy.